Hey everyone, and welcome back. Have you ever dreamed of playing a full-fledged PC game right on your Android smartphone? Today, we're making that a reality with the GameHub Emulator. This amazing emulator lets your mobile device tap into the power of dedicated servers, so you can play titles that are normally impossible on a phone. We're pushing the limits by running it all on a device powered by the cutting-edge MediaTek Dimensity 9400 chipset. I've put together a compilation of 25 incredible titles, from vast open-world RPGs to high-octane shooters. The big question isn't just that these games work, it's how they perform when you're playing them from anywhere. Let's find out. Serious Sam 3BFE is a nostalgic blast of classic FPS action, and surprisingly, it holds up on GameHub. While the gameplay is intense, our test with the Dimensity 9400 chipset showed some graphical glitches, with an average frame rate of 35 frames per second. It's playable, but the bugs are something to watch out for. Mad Max, a post-apocalyptic open-world adventure, feels right at home on GameHub. The desolate wasteland looks stunning, and our test on the Dimensity 9400 showed a smooth experience with no graphical bugs. With frame rates consistently between 30 and 40 frames per second, the gameplay is fluid and highly enjoyable. Metro 2033 Redux is a masterclass in atmospheric storytelling, and its performance on GameHub is nothing short of amazing. Running on the Dimensity 9400 chipset, this survival horror game hits a nearly perfect 60 frames per second with zero graphical issues. This proves that GameHub can handle even highly demanding titles with remarkable stability. Fallout New Vegas is an iconic RPG that defined a generation. It's an ideal game for GameHub's cloud streaming, as its vast open world and complex systems are perfectly suited for the platform. Running on the Dimensity 9400, we saw solid performance, with frame rates between 45 and 60 frames per second and no graphical glitches. Prototype 2, a superhero sandbox game, is pure chaos and fun. It's a great choice for GameHub because the action is constant. On the Dimensity 9400, the experience was fantastic, with a smooth frame rate of 40 to 60 frames per second and no graphical issues. This is a must-play if you love destructive, high-octane gameplay. Doom 2016 is the pinnacle of modern FPS design, and it's exhilarating to see it on a mobile device. Thanks to the cloud processing of GameHub, the fast-paced, gore-filled action runs flawlessly. Our Dimensity 9400 test showed a rock-solid 60 frames per second with no bugs, making it one of the best performers on the service. GTA 4 is a masterpiece of open-world storytelling, known for its deep and gritty narrative. Playing it on GameHub gives you a full-fledged console experience in your hands. On the Dimensity 9400, we were impressed with the stable frame rate of 40 to 60 frames per second, with no noticeable graphical issues. GTA 5 is arguably the greatest open-world game ever made, and now you can play it on the go. Running on GameHub, the massive world of Los Santos is fully explorable, and the frame rates are decent, ranging from 35 to 50 frames per second. Our Dimensity 9400 test was surprisingly smooth, with no graphical bugs to hinder the experience. Ghostrunner 2 is a stunningly fast-paced cyberpunk slasher, and its demanding visuals make it a perfect test for GameHub. The cloud streaming handled the high-speed action and slick graphics with impressive ease. On the Dimensity 9400, we saw frame rates from 40 to 60 frames per second with no graphical bugs, providing a fluid and immersive experience. The Witcher 3 Wild Hunt is a truly monumental RPG, and its size and graphical demands make it a huge challenge for any streaming service. While it runs on GameHub with no major bugs, our Dimensity 9400 test showed a low frame rate of 15 to 20 frames per second. It's certainly playable, but the performance might be too slow for some. Monster Hunter World is a breathtaking action RPG, but the performance on GameHub is a mixed bag. The game runs, but our test with the Dimensity 9400 showed a low frame rate of 15 to 20 frames per second and some graphical bugs, with a glaring white contrast issue. While the hunting is still fun, the visual glitches are a distraction. The Amazing Spider-Man brings classic web-slinging action to your mobile device, but its performance on GameHub is a bit inconsistent. Our tests with the Dimensity 9400 showed a playable 30 frames per second, but the game had a noticeable white contrast bug that was quite disruptive. It's a shame, as the gameplay itself is great. The Amazing Spider-Man 2 is a significant improvement over the first game, and it shows on GameHub. The frame rates were a stable 50 to 60 frames per second on our Dimensity 9400 test, with no graphical bugs. The web-slinging feels much smoother, making this a fantastic option for anyone who wants to swing through New York on the go. Dark Souls 2 is a punishing and atmospheric action RPG, and its slower, more deliberate combat makes it a solid choice for GameHub. Our test on the Dimensity 9400 showed a consistent 30 frames per second with no graphical bugs, meaning you can experience the brutal challenge and beautiful world without any technical distractions. Kena Bridge of Spirits is a visually stunning action-adventure game with a focus on exploration and charming characters. The game is a technical marvel, but on GameHub, it's a bit of a mixed bag. Our test on the Dimensity 9400 showed a low frame rate of 15 to 20 frames per second, but it did run without any graphical bugs. Hollow Knight Silksong is a long-awaited sequel to the beloved Metroidvania title. Its fluid combat and beautiful art style make it perfect for GameHub. With our test on the Dimensity 9400, the game ran flawlessly at a smooth 60 frames per second with no graphical issues. Mortal Kombat 11 is a visually spectacular fighting game known for its brutal fatalities. Unfortunately, the game struggles on GameHub. Our Dimensity 9400 test showed a very low frame rate of around 10 frames per second, making the fast-paced combat sluggish. While there were no graphical bugs, the performance issue is a major roadblock. Dark Souls 3 is an intense and difficult action RPG, and its demanding visuals and fast combat make it a tough test for cloud gaming. Our test with the Dimensity 9400 showed a very low frame rate of 10 to 15 frames per second. While the game had no graphical bugs, the performance is just not good enough to do the game justice. Devil May Cry 5 is a stylish and lightning-fast action game. The game's intricate combos and fast-paced combat are a true test for cloud streaming. On GameHub, we saw a respectable frame rate of 30 to 40 frames per second with some minor graphical bugs. Despite the glitches, the game is still largely playable on our Dimensity 9400 test. Watch Dogs is an open-world action-adventure game with a unique hacking mechanic. The game's urban setting is well suited for GameHub's cloud streaming. On our Dimensity 9400 test, the game ran smoothly at around 35 frames per second with no graphical bugs, providing a solid and enjoyable experience. Crisis Core Final Fantasy VII Reunion is a beautiful action RPG that retells a classic story. The game's visuals are gorgeous, and GameHub does a decent job of handling them. Our Dimensity 9400 test showed a solid frame rate of 20 to 30 frames per second with no graphical bugs. While not perfect, it's a respectable performance. Tekken 7 is a legendary fighting game known for its deep combat system. Its fast-paced action and stunning visuals make it a perfect fit for cloud streaming. Our Dimensity 9400 test showed a stable 30 frames per second with no graphical bugs, allowing for a smooth and satisfying fighting experience. Saints Row 4 Re-Elected is a wacky, over-the-top open-world game. Its chaotic action and superpowered gameplay are a perfect match for GameHub. On our Dimensity 9400 test, the game ran fantastically with a frame rate of 40 to 60 frames per second and no graphical issues. Outlast is a terrifying first-person survival horror game. Its performance on GameHub is flawless. Our test on the Dimensity 9400 showed an incredibly smooth 65 frames per second with no graphical bugs. The high frame rate makes the frightening experience even more immersive and terrifying. LEGO DC Supervillains is a fun and lighthearted action-adventure game. It's a great family-friendly option for GameHub. On our Dimensity 9400 test, the game ran at a solid 35 frames per second with no graphical bugs, providing a smooth and enjoyable experience for players of all ages. So, there you have it, 25 PC games you can play on a mobile device thanks to the GameHub Emulator. It truly shows the incredible potential of this technology. What did you think of the performance? Let me know which of these games you'd love to play the most down in the comments below. If you found this video interesting, be sure to give it a like and subscribe to the Vanzee channel for more content like this. And don't forget to share this video with your friends so they can see what's possible too. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.